Alrighty, so today's video we're going to be talking about proving angles congruent, and it's going to harken back to some of those angle pair relationships we learned last unit. Okay, let's get started. So first thing before we get started, we got to talk about a very important theorem, vertical angles theorem. It says vertical angles are congruent. So remember, if angles are congruent, that means they have the same measure. Okay, so in our picture up here, it says angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And then angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Okay? Now, I don't know if I've actually explicitly told you all yet, but when you're marking angles that are congruent, the first pair like I talked about here was angle 1 and 2. I gave those one little arc. And then I talk about a completely different pair with 3 and 4, so I gave them 2 arcs. That just means you're talking about different pairs, if that makes any sense. Okay, now this is important. Vertical angles theorem is important because later on we're going to start talking about, we're going to start talking about triangles and how they're congruent, and this is going to come up again. Okay, so you have to know this theorem. Lock it away in your memory. Alright, let's use it. And all we're going to do here is solve for x at first, and then I'll show you maybe later what we could do with that x. Anyway, so we look at our picture. We have vertical angles because they are directly across from each other. So this 43 is the same measure as 6x plus 1. They're the exact same, so we can set them equal to each other. And it's a simple two-step equation. We subtract 1, divide 6, x equals 7. Okay? Now, you could be asked to plug the x back in. I'm not going to do that here because it's kind of dumb because these are the same thing. But just know, sometimes you could be asked to plug this x back in there. Okay, let's look at another one. Alright, so same thing, we're going to solve for x, but notice this picture is a little different. Vertical angles make a x, I call it like an x shape, like X-Men. These are no longer vertical in this example. These are supplementary angles because I can draw a half circle. That means both these angles together equal 180 degrees. Okay, that means they're supplementary. So all we did was take 3x plus 1 and add it with 5x plus 3. Set it equal to 180 degrees and solve. Okay, got a little multi-step equation here. We need to combine like terms first. 3x and 5x give me 8x. 1 and 3 give me 4. Now we're adding 4, so to make it go away, we subtract 4. That gives me 176. Divide 8. Divide 8. X should be, let me double check. I think it's 22, but I want to double check. Yeah, 22. Alright. So that's if you're just asked to find x, and that's probably most of the time what you're going to be asked to do. But they could say they could ask you, what's this specific angle measure? In other words, go plug the x back in. So let's just see what happens when we do that. Let's plug x back into both of these. So 3 times 22 plus 1. That's going to give me 67 degrees. 5 times 22 plus 3 is going to give me, I don't know right off the top of my head, 113. And then notice if you add these two, we get 180 again. So we know we've done it correctly if our angle measures add to 180. Okay. Now again, just realize you're probably only going to be asked to do what I've done in green. The red you could be asked to do, but more than likely you're just going to do the green. I'm just doing the red for now so you can see what it would look like if they asked you to do that. Okay, last one. So again, there's another angle relationship here, but we're talking about this x plus 15 and the 2x. Notice there's a little, I call it a box right there. You all should remember and know that that box signifies that those two angles make a 90-degree angle. So in other words, these are complementary angles. They're going to add to 90s. All we do is take 2x plus x plus 15, set it equal to 90. Combine like terms. And now we're going to subtract the 15. That gives me 75. Divide 3. X is 25. Okay? And then again, for extra, if they say, hey, take that x and go plug it back in. So let's see if we did that. X plus 15 would be 25 plus 15, which gives us 40 degrees. 2x would be 2 times 25, which is 50 degrees. And then obviously 40 plus 50 is 90 degrees. So we know we've done it correctly. But again, you will probably only be asked to do the blue writing. The red is optional. Okay? Alright, that's basically it. You have to, what I would say is remember the angle pair relationship. And sometimes there might be more than one in the problem, so I would just start with one pair and find the variable. But anyway, remember your angle pair relationships and solving equations. That's going to be your help. Your homework problems are only 1 through 6. Okay, only 1 through 6. And as always, if you need help or you're not understanding something, let me know.